So Jeff and I getting together to talk about some marketing for the RBM Group. And just before we started recording, Jeff was telling me about some of the volunteer work he does. And I guess it's this weekend. There's a convention.
Thursday, Friday this week.
Thursday and Friday of this week, there's a convention in Toronto, and Jeff is a judge, and there's a bunch of students who have to complete a certain task, an heating, ventilation, and air conditioning task in, did you say 8 hours?
8 hours, correct, yes.
So I think that's fantastic. As part of your own marketing program, though, I think you should think about the volunteer work that you've done, and that should be part of the marketing for RBM Group. The fact that you have your gas license back, and the fact that you have done volunteer work, including being a judge is considered quite a thing. You know what I mean? Like if you're judging at the Olympics, I don't know, the diving competition or something like that, that's very prestigious to put that on your CV.
Correct. Yeah,
Right,
I agree.
So better start writing down some of these magic marketing buttons that we're going to push. Okay, so that's one of them. A full list of volunteer work and other kinds of work that you've done that that are relevant to RBM Group. The other thing I was hoping you would do, and I mentioned it to you before, is do maybe 2 case studies, right? And I'll just describe for a moment what a case study is. And so a case study might be, for example, I was talking to Bill. Bill's a developer. He owns a shopping plaza. And, Bill and his tenants were spending an extraordinary amount of money on their energy costs. It was just out of all proportion. And they called Jeff Moody. And so Jeff came in and he did his on-site inspection, and he came up with a number of recommendations. And the way a case study is typically set up is you describe the scene. You talk about the characters, and what you can do is you can make it anonymous. In other words, you can anonymize it. You understand, Jeff? Mm-hmm. So Bill is and you write in the case study Bill Smith, in brackets, not his real name, and his address is 1234 any street, any place, any city, anywhere, right? So you don't have to actually give away the client unless you have the client's permission. So some of the case studies, I'd go back to my client and say, look, I'd like to make a case study out of what you've done here. Do I have your permission to use your data and your name and your location? Sometimes he or she will say no, in which case I can use the case study, but I have to invent a name. I have to invent a place. I have to change the numbers a little bit so that they can't be recognized somehow. But you can tell a case study even if you don't have permission, as long as it can't be traced back to the client, right? And if you have permission, it's even better. You can use real names. So a Harvard case study is the same as pretty much any other case study. You talk about the problem. You talk about the people who were involved. You talk about then the situation that you are facing as a consultant or a contractor. And then you kind of stop, you put a break in the action. So if you were teaching a case study, that's what you would do. So if you were teaching a case study, and you have been a teacher, right?
Sorry, you broke up there.
You have been a teacher, right? Right. So this is how you teach it in class. So you would describe the situation, the problems, the people, the issues, and then you would stop and you would ask the students, so what would you do? Do you understand?
Yes.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, it was going in and out, but yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so let me know if you just raise your hand, I'll stop. So you ask the students at that point, what would you do? What would you recommend? And then there's a class discussion, and then you present the solution that you actually implemented. Right, so the first part is like the story, and the second part is the solution that you proposed, and then there's the third part, which is the results. And you can present, Jeff, you can present case studies in a classroom setting that didn't work, right? So this was the problem. We tried this and it failed. Okay? Because as Thomas Edison said, after he tested 3,000 or 4,000 different materials for his first light bulb, when the press gave him a lot of grief about having 4,000 failures, he said, I didn't have any failures. They were all successes because the 4,000 things that I tried didn't work. Now I know they don't work. That's a success. So you can teach case studies in class that lead to negative outcomes, but for marketing of RBM Group, you want to have a couple of success stories. All right. So and it can be very simple. Bill had a problem. I went in and I did an inspection. This is what I found. This is the solution I proposed. And then this is what happened. Those case studies and we talked about this before too, testimonials from your previous clients, right?
Yeah.
So what we're looking for on your Facebook page or on your website are testimonials. We're looking for case studies. 2 of them would be great. That's a start, right?
Okay.
So what was the first thing I mentioned before we got to the testimonials and case studies?
The volunteering, full list of volunteering.
Yeah, volunteering. Thank you. All right. The other thing that I think goes into your Facebook page or your website is, we've talked about lots of these different products that you're experimenting with, right? So products that are available to purchase, that'll help you as well. You'll have a little busier website if you've got some products on the website that people can buy.
Yeah, and those products like the Airwise for Business, they did send me a big contract to be like a reseller, but I don't want to dig into it till I actually see what type of traction I'll get with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were a number of products that you were looking at. I have them here. I'm sure I've got them. Let's see what they were. So you looked at Energuy, you looked at Hydro, which I thought was pretty cool. You looked at Air Things, Nerva, Mold Busters, I guess. I mean, out of all the things that you've looked at, what product would you put on your website now?
So I'm testing the Hydro right now. The Hydro, the problem with the Hydro is somebody can just go on Amazon and buy it.
Yep.
And there might be a way to, and right now they don't want to necessarily give any sort of like contractors discount till
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So where the air things on the business side have to be a contractor to actually buy the purchase of products. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to meet a guy I know actually through the industry, through this volunteering actually.
Yeah.
It's called Pure Distribution.
Yep.
So the conversation is how can I be, or what's the process to become a dealer for him, which he's very open to. And he's actually going to show me a couple different things of how he tests, indoor environments and this and that. So that's what I want to push. And then the ERVs and HRVs, they're pretty, you essentially almost have to be an HVAC company to purchase them. I mean, you can buy them online, but you're buying them basically marked up at like 40-50%. But
it would be interesting if you could put together maybe a package, because you could buy an Hydro on on Amazon, but most people wouldn't have a clue what to do with it.
Yeah, so the only thing with the iDro is, like, I literally just put mine on today.
Yeah.
You got to go on the electrical panel. And technically, as an HVAC guy, I can't go into the
Yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
So I don't mind doing it for my own, but it's just kind of
Yeah, no,
so
you
I'd
don't
have
want to do anything. No, no. As a commercial contractor, whether it's residential or commercial or industrial, you have to be careful. There's no way you can cross over.
Yeah, so in terms of the package, I was thinking of, I mean, like a residential package, I was thinking of an ERV, a media, like a 4-inch media cabinet,
Yeah.
for a MERV 13 filter. And then, the Airwise residential one, like I could order it just online or whatever, but just kind of package it all together.
Yeah, I think that's great. And you can offer the iDro, because if you can stand next to me, the owner of my house, and you can say, this is how other people have hooked it up, and
Yeah,
I can hook it up, right?
correct. Yep.
You don't touch the panel. You had nothing to do with it. Just, so I think the iDro could be part of the package, but that's going to be for self-installation by owner, you know?
Yeah.
But because I've done that, I did some plumbing here, and I have a contractor. He's a fantastic plumber. He just doesn't have the license for it. So he said, okay, Bruce, I mean, I can hold a wrench, so he said, Bruce, do this, this, and this. And he was standing right over me. And I put the piece of plumbing in. It worked, it flushed the toilet. It went.
Yep.
And the plumbing inspector came in and said, did you do this yourself, Mr. Firestone? And I said, yes, I did. That was true. But I had somebody standing over my shoulder who actually knows what he's doing.
Yeah, correct. Like if it's your own
And I've done
house, you
some,
can
I've
do
done
whatever you want.
the same with electrical. The ESA comes in and said, this was installed by owner, correct? You did not have an electrician? No. Well, that is true, because my pal, who's he's been a general contractor, small general contractor all his life, since he was a boy. And he's now in his 60s. So he'll stand next to me and I'll do some basic work, and then I'll get it inspected and I'll get my ESA certificate, because I know what I'm doing when I have somebody, next to me who actually really knows what he's doing. So that is legal. You can't advertise that you'll instruct people how to do something themselves, but certainly you can stand next to them and watch them and say, well, the instructions are this. And if you see me doing something wrong, you say, well, that's not what the instructions say. So at no point can you ever be blamed for either an electrical installation or something that, like the iDro that goes on the panel. So I think you can do a workaround there legally. Because you're allowed to teach, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Yes.
you've already been a teacher, and I think teaching is part of what you do. It's always been the plan for this group that you would be you would not only be a contractor, but you would also be teaching people stuff, so that
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they can be successful. Now, I like the tagline, don't be Moody, trust Jeff Moody, right?
I know you like it.
I know I like it. Well, you don't have to use it, but I want you to think about your tagline. Everybody has a
Well,
tagline saying, I'm the best consultant in the world. That's my tagline, right? I mean, okay.
I
But
like, I like the building environments.
I love that too. I think that's excellent. But I think you should find a use for don't be Moody, don't be Moody, trust Jeff Moody. But I love building environments too. It's excellent. I mean, that's more professional, obviously. But I think you saw what my friend Michael Golubev is doing now with Mold Busters, right?
Yeah.
It's really good. I mean, he's a really smart kid. And I just got an email from him last week, and this is what I found. You saw it, right?
Yeah. No, it's a good tagline. Or
Yeah, I mean, he's now his personal tagline is Mold's worst nightmare, and yours might be energy and inefficiency's worst nightmare, or fiercest opponent, or toughest, the toughest opponent, or something like that. I mean, there's a lot that you can do today to appeal to a younger audience, right? Because you got to remember that a lot of building managers are my age, a bit younger, a bit older, and they're all aging out, right? So they're being replaced by people in their 30s and 40s, and Michael would be in his 30s now. So and you're still in your 30s. So we can do. I mean, it's up to you. You do what you think is best, but you can be a little bit more, tongue in cheek now than you could have been, say, 20 years ago.
Okay. And I feel like I'm kind of at a crossroads, like the energy efficiency I want to do, but like the more and more I read about this indoor air quality stuff is it's definitely very interesting.
Well, I wanted to comment on both of those. I think you should do both, because you have so much experience in heating, ventilation, air conditioning. You have so much experience there that if you can reduce heating costs and ventilation costs and air conditioning costs and energy use, that's a big contribution. It is. And so I don't think you should turn your back on that, because you have
and I think both
so
kind of
much.
go together.
Sorry.
I think both can kind of go together as well.
I think so too. And I really like that idea of offering kind of a broader service, I mean, for all I know, you'll add, mold inspections as well. I mean, why not? And I sent you, the pan reports that I do. I get, every time I do one of those, I just did another one, I get $1,500.
Yeah.
And I probably do, 10 a year, which isn't much, one a month, maybe two a month, but but it adds another $15,000 or $20,000 to my income. And it's because you've studied quite a bit with me now in terms of animation. You understand this stuff, right? So now the pan report that I sent you was way, way, way too long. I mean, I would want you to compress that to 12 or 15 pages, like mold buster reports are 10 or 12 pages, So my reports are ridiculous. That is stupid. But you could compress that to, a recommendation. You should add a backyard office or backyard workshop. You should, convert your basement to an apartment or a few micro suites. I mean, there's some simple stuff on the animation side that you and I know a lot about now. And if you think about it, I wanted to go over this one more time with you. Most of the stuff that you're going to do is negative cost, right? It's a negative cost. In other words, if let's say it cost me $80,000 to put a 2-bedroom apartment in my basement. So you come to me and say, Bruce, I'm going to help you with an energy audit. I'm going to help you with indoor air quality. And I'm also going to help you with some animation ideas. And one of them is very simple. Let's put a 2-bedroom apartment in there, right? And so you might make that recommendation. And as long as it's not a conflict of interest, you might end up with the contract. Right? You're not going to do the drywall and all that stuff, but you might spec the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, air quality component of it, right? And the rest of it you just farm out to people you know and trust. But let's just make sure you understand what negative cost selling is. So what that means is that, let's say it cost me $80,000 to put it in, and I'm just going to make up some numbers. And say it cost me to pay, I borrow that on my mortgage at 6%. So that's $4,800 a year of interest, and then a little bit of principal. So it's maybe, say, $600 a month to pay it back, okay? Or even if it's, say, $800 a month to pay it back. So we put a 2-bedroom apartment in my basement, and I borrow the money from my mortgage, or put a home equity line of credit in place, and I'm paying, say, $800 a month back on my HELOC. What can you get in Port Hope, where Scott Davis likes, property? What could you get in Port Hope for a 2-bedroom basement apartment these days?
1,800, 1,850?
Yeah, I think so. So let's say it's 1,800, and I'm paying $800 a month on my HELOC or my mortgage. What does it cost me to put that improvement in?
I mean, it's a negative cost.
And the number is?
Nothing.
No,
Nothing.
it cost me a negative $1,000 a month. I'm paying $800 a month to retire the extra debt on my mortgage, and I'm getting $1,800. So it's a negative $1,000 a month. The most powerful selling tool I've yet discovered, and I've been at this a long time, is negative cost selling. So one of my students, when I taught this a long time ago at the Sprott School of Business and then the Telfer School of Management, one of my students told me that negative cost selling was Jeff saying to the homeowner, I'll pay you to let me do this work. I'll pay you. And they'll go, what are you talking about? And what you're saying is, look, it probably costs you $800 a month extra on your mortgage or your HELOC. You probably get about $1,800 a month from your rent. So the cost to hire me to do all this work, to look at the air quality, to look at your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, to look at your energy bill, cost you a negative $1,000 a month for the next number of years. And once the debt is retired, it'll cost you a negative $1,800 a month, if you know what I mean. It's a very powerful tool. And that same kid who told me that he was going to say, I'll pay you to hire me, used that when he went to California when he graduated to get a job with Google. He was sitting there, he's a developer, a coder, and he wanted a $200,000 US dollar a year salary, and they were offering him, I don't know, 170 or 180. He said, well, look, I'm going to pay you at least $100,000 a year to hire me. I'll pay you. And the Google guys said, what the hell are you talking about? He said, I'll pay you. He said, look, I'll generate at least $300,000 worth of code, if not more, compared to anybody else. Put me to the test. And so the cost of hiring me at $200,000 will be a negative $100,000, if not more. And they laughed, and of course, they did test them, right? Google tests people before they hire them. They don't just hire them on your say-so. And he tested very well. I mean, he's a brilliant young fellow. But so you can use negative cost selling just to get a job.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense. This book that I'm reading, I think I mentioned it, this Healthy Buildings book.
Fabulous, yeah.
They were saying, I haven't got to the part of how they teach how to sell indoor air quality, but one of his stories was one of the author's stories was he was one of the first people to not to find Legionnaire's disease basically in a hospital.
That's a big discovery.
Yeah, down in Chicago. And basically he was saying was, they found Legionnaire's disease, and essentially what he did was, and a couple people died in the Chicago hospital.
I know that.
And they came up with a remediation plan, and it would have cost the hospital an extra $25,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually passed on it.
Wow.
Yeah. And he said basically it was because all the lawsuits of the people who died with Legionnaires, the insurance covered that. And yeah, there might be a hit to their insurance where the $25,000 was coming right out of the facilities budget, where so I mean, there's a second part to that story somewhere in this book that I haven't got to yet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let me tell you my experience when I was operating office buildings. We had I don't know, 1 or 1.2 million square feet of office buildings. So not a huge portfolio, but not zero either. So probably about 1.2 million square feet. And most of our tenants were on triple net leases. You know what those are, right?
Yep.
Okay. And so people would come to us with energy saving ideas. This was the 1970s and 1980s, mostly the 1980s. And, there were a couple of energy crises. Oil prices were going up very significantly, from $2 or $3 a barrel to, $20 or $30 a barrel, which we thought was ridiculous. Now it's $70 or $80. But anyway, energy prices were going up. There was an energy shortage. So we got a lot of proposals, to reduce energy consumption. And one of my accountants pointed out that every time we lowered our tenants' utility costs, we lost money. And what happens was, so let's say we buy power from Ontario Hydro for, X dollar a kilowatt hour. We retail it to our tenants at X plus delta X, right? Because if you went and contracted, if you had to say a 10,000 square foot office in a 300,000 square foot building, and you just went and you contracted with Hydro, and for a small amount of power, you would pay this much. Well, we were buying for a bigger portfolio, so we would pay less, and we would mark it up to whatever the equivalent was that they would have paid given their consumption, right? So we would mark it up. So if we saved power, we lost money, right? So we went down. So
yeah, you weren't the end user, so
we weren't the end user. In fact, we were charging a 15% admin fee plus whatever the margin was. So we would lose quite a bit of money by cutting energy costs by, say, 20%. So what we did was we changed our triple net leases to say that if we were able to save our clients money, we did the analysis, right? And so we made that we would get a portion of the savings paid by the tenant to us. So they would save money, but we would still make the same or a little bit more. But we had to change our leases. So we did that. Our competitors did not. And so over the next 5 years, Jeff, when the leases started to come up for renewal, we noticed that many of our competitors, Canderel was one of them, Minto was another. There were many, Brookfield, many people who owned office buildings and shopping plazas, not just us. But we started to sign up more tenants who were coming from other portfolios. And of course, I would ask why, and they would say, well, your energy costs are significantly lower. So we were making the same amount of money or even a little bit more with lower energy costs, but you had to change the lease form. Our competitors to this day still haven't done that. They have an incentive to make their buildings as inefficient as possible so the tenants pay as much as possible, so their percentage fees and their markups are the most, right? So there's a lot of perverse problems here. And so when you're doing your energy audit, you want to look at that too. You want to see what the lease actually says. Do you understand? Like, how many landlords will understand that they can reduce, because you're going to be fighting that too, that they can reduce the energy costs for their tenants, attract more tenants, and still make the same amount of money or less, but they have to change their lease.
yeah, I guess I was looking at going after buildings that it was that end user buildings, let's call them, retirement homes, small businesses, guys like that, opposed to the multi-spaced.
You're going to get some people who will be interested in hiring you for one reason, and that's called greenwashing. You know what greenwashing is, right?
Yep.
So let's say I own a plaza with 20 tenants in it, and I hire you. I might just do it because I'm trying to show that I'm concerned with being green and whatever, but I'm really not. But if you could point out to me as a rapacious, greedy landlord that, Bruce, if you change your lease, you could actually implement some of this stuff that I'm talking about and still make as much money or more than you're making now. That is a powerful argument, because you will find some people, even some people who own their own buildings, right? So you have an industrial company, they own a 150,000 square foot industrial plant, and so they are the end user. They might well have an extra 40,000 square feet of space that they're renting to somebody else. They just, if you're building a new plant, you generally build it a little bit bigger than you need, because you hope your company will grow and you'll take over that space. But while you're waiting to grow into that space, it's rented to a third party. So this stuff that I'm talking about might be relevant to you. And I just wanted you to know this stuff.
Okay, well, thank you. No, it makes sense.
All right. All right. So let's talk about marketing. So what have you done to this point to establish, where are you at with your website, with your Facebook page? What have you done so far?
Like I have the coming soon. Let's just say I don't have much and I don't have much.
What are your next steps, Jeff?
Talk to Bruce.
Thanks.
My next steps are I did create an Instagram account.
Cool.
I do have that coming soon website. My next steps are to start in some way blasting, like marketing. Whatever that looks like. My hangups are putting the reports together and all that stuff, like prettying stuff up is just not my strong suit. Like I have all the information here. It's just like putting it to paper is difficult for me.
Why is it difficult? I mean, what is stopping you?
Like, have I showed you did I show you? I did show you the report I kind of had.
Report. It was pretty basic.
Yeah. I guess my thing is I don't necessarily I don't know what to focus in on. Like I was focusing in on the energy consumption. Now this air quality thing is also something I feel like I should go after. Yeah, I just
Would it be easier for you to write it down on a piece of paper?
yeah, I could literally like design it on a piece of paper and
Because what I think you might do is you might write it on a piece of paper. And do you know the site 99 Designs?
no.
I'll show you. So this is a site I really, really like, and I've used it many, many times. It's 99. Can you see it on the top there? 99designs.ca. Just write that down on your piece of
Yep.
paper. So what do you need designed? Brochure. Okay. So you can, what happens on 99 Designs is you create a competition, and really, really wonderful designers from all over the world, from Romania, from Indonesia, from the United States, they bid on your work. And you start the competition, costs anywhere from $300 to $1,000. So it's not really expensive. And you get a bunch of designs that are just fantastic, right? So what you do is you as long as your handwriting is clear, you can print it, right? You can just scan in your documents, whatever the name of your group is, whatever your tagline is, right? What you want in the brochure, and these designers will produce really extraordinary stuff. It's easy to set up a competition, and there you go. They do websites. I don't know. Let's look at the categories here. They do your logo, your web design, your advertising. You can get clothing and merchandise, art and illustration, books and magazines, packaging labels, obviously brochures. It's really fantastic. I'll show you some of the stuff that they've done for me. See if I can find something. Let me see. you know, so when I have a new, you know, when I do a new book, for example, here's 99 designs, right? Sorry, that's not the stuff I wanted to show you. Just give me a second here. 99 designs, where was it? Cover. Yeah, here we are. All right, so here are the different designs that, and you only pay for the winner.
Okay.
So, you know, here's some different covers that were designed by various people. So there's one. I hated that one. Here's another. I hated that one. Let's see, a couple others. Here's another one. Didn't much like that, similar to the other one. What else we got here? And you know, here's one of the ones that I did like, and if you've ever seen this book, this actually was the winner, right? Now, ask me if I could create a book cover that looked like that.
Yeah.
I
It's
could, but you know, let's see if I've got some other handbooks that are more professional. Here's the PAN report, right? Um, and and uh, and this is a young woman I met through 99 Designs. Her name's Mariah. And you know, so this was the PAN report cover, right? Again, could I create a cover like that? That's obviously the back cover on the left and the front cover on the right. Okay, and that this competition for the PAN report cost me, you know, $350. Some of them were more expensive. Some of them were 600 or 650. But you can get all kinds of things created by really skilled artists, and you can you know, if you say you get 6 or 8 people who respond to your competition, you can also run a poll, right? So you can send me a poll, and I can go and look at 6 different designs. And I say, I like this one best, Jeff. And you can send it to your wife and she can select one, and your friends or potential clients. You with me on that?
Yeah. So
It's
I'm
very
just
simple.
thinking, like, I need the report.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Trust me on that. Even if you just upload the stuff that you have now, you know, your ideas for the name of the company, which you already know, you have a couple of taglines that you're looking at, building environments. You have a checklist that, you know, could be part of it, right? You remember the checklist you sent me?
yeah. Can I show you what I have right now?
Yeah, of course. I'll make you the co-host. Give me a second. You bet.
Sure. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
So I bought this brand kit from this looka.com.
Okay.
So it has all these different marketing things. Um, Kind of these templates to choose from.
Yeah. And once you've chosen a template, what can you do with it?
Sorry, are you still there, Bruce? You broke up.
Yeah. So once you choose a template, what do you do next with that? Do you have to actually create the brochure yourself? Can you hear me, Jeff? Jeff,
Yeah,
can you,
you.
Jeff? Are we connected?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the internet.
Maybe the kids are on the internet or your wife. So once you have this template, yeah, so you're going to create this brochure yourself.
This is just kind of, I just want to show you what I was doing. I'm not saying this is the right path.
Right.
I just wanted your opinion on it, maybe. So basically what they do is there's some sort of like AI writing,
Yep.
they put this stuff in. So yeah, there's different templates to put, and then you can do text boxes, images, shapes, all that stuff.
So you want my opinion? Listen, I think it's okay, but I'll be honest with you. It's not. It wouldn't be the quality that you would get from 99 Designs.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay.
And
So
by the way, that might not matter, because people hire Jeff Moody because they trust Jeff Moody, right? And so you don't necessarily need the best design in the world. But if I could choose, I would choose to get a brochure done by 99 Designs. I mean it. You could just load your copy to 99 Designs and some of the other stuff, and open up a competition, and you will get a much better result, in my opinion. The other thing
gotcha.
I think you would do is, we've talked about this before, is I think whether it's through looka.com or it's through 99 Designs, is you would want to get a lawn sign designed, right?
Sorry, what type of design?
A lawn sign.
A lawn sign?
A lawn sign. We talked about that.
Yeah, I guess where my mind goes is I always think in terms of commercial.
Yeah. Well,
So
how many times have you driven down a street, whether it's commercial or residential, and it's you see a lawn sign that says, "Look up, another roof by Fire On Roofing, text 613 or whatever, 416, blah, 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 email, Emily at fireonroofing.ca." Like, that's an actual client of mine. And then
yep,
Fire On is a big, big, big roofing company, and they do both residential and commercial roofing. And
gotcha.
every single job that they do, they plant, with permission of the owner, of course, they plant a lawn sign saying, "Look up another roof by fireon.ca," right? And then they say, "Text this number, email." And you remember, they make up a fake name, right? Emily at fireonroofing.ca, right? Do you remember that discussion?
I don't.
Okay, so what a lot of my clients do is they don't use any more info at RBM Group. They don't use that. No one likes to email info at anything, because they assume that nobody will actually answer. So what we do is we create a fictitious person at, and these are big companies, some of them. We create a fictitious person at, RBM Group. It's not Jeff at rbmgroup.ca or .com. It's usually a woman, because women are more trusted than men.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's a rule. I mean, if a man came to the door, the size of Jeff Moody, knocking on the door, that's one thing. If a young woman knocks on the door, it's quite different, right? I mean, in terms of threat level, trust. I know that a very pretty girl knocked on our door here 2 years ago, representing the Humane Society, and she signed me up for a certain amount of money every month forever. And I mean, I'm a complete sucker, most men, I think, like, attractive women. So I'm no different. Maybe she was 19. And, I stood at the door and I stupidly signed up, and I mean, I'm happy to support, the Humane Society, but still, if it had been somebody, with all due respect, the Jehovah's Witnesses, I probably wouldn't have signed up with a couple of guys, right? I mean, it's just, it is what it is. So what I would want you to do is, pick a name, something easy to say and spell, Emma at, RBM Group or whatever name you like, and you create an email address, and of course it's forwarded to you. So when you get an inquiry, you respond to it and say, listen, Emma passed your information on to me. My name's Jeff Moody. I'm the founder of this company.
Yeah, and then that would be an easy way to track where your leads are coming from too, right?
100%. But she'll never quit on you.
Yeah.
I have one. Her name is Nina, and Nina at brucemfirestone.com. And she even has, I think, her own LinkedIn page, but she doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
All right.
And
but I mean,
so
that is a very, very helpful. You will get far more leads these days from text and email if they think it's going to a woman. And what's interesting is that when the response is from a male, you'll get more sales. Men generally are respected as salespeople. Women are not. People tune them out. But in terms of willingness to text or willingness to email, so it's not equal, if you understand. So when you say, look, I'm the founder of the group, and Emily passed on your message, how can I help you? You probably get an answer. There are women in tech, for example, on the supply chain side, who create a male alter ego. Because let's say you wanted to source, 10,000 microchips or 10 million microchips from Taiwan. If you send an email from a woman, let's say my name was, I don't know, Bella. And Bella's email will go to the bottom of the pile because people on the other end at Taiwan Semiconductor say, well, that's a woman, then she will have no authority. That's what they assume. They don't even give her the time of day. So there are many women in Silicon Valley and in Ottawa and Toronto, other tech places, they create a male alter ego, and they correspond with people forever. And the guys on the other side think that these are men, not women. Because if they disclose that they're females, they won't get any attention. So you have to be aware of this stuff. But I would create, pick a name, okay? Let me know what it is. Do you have a favorite girl's name?
What did you say, Emily? I'll use Emily.
Emma. Everybody likes the name Emma.
Emma?
Emma, EMMA. Emma at
Okay, there.
RBM Group.
Okay, and what other marketing things do I need?
Well, what I want you to do is I want you to get out there as soon as possible with something, right? Let me see if I can find something here that'll show you.
And I was going to show you this, Bruce, like,
hang on a second. I want to show you, why do you think it is, Jeff, that politicians, every time there is every time there's a local election, why do they use lawn signs?
Because they work.
Right. And I just took a couple of pictures here. These guys are supposed to be, the Green Party is supposed to be green. And
that's ironic. Yeah.
NDP are supposed to be, lefties. Well, I guess they are. But they use lawn signs, and lawn signs are anything but environmentally friendly. They're plastic, right? And they're cheap and they're disposable. How many of these things every year end up in landfill sites? I would think millions, right? But
yep.
And of course the conservatives use them too. But I can tell you that lawn signs are incredibly effective. And so what clients like, for example, what Mold Busters did in the early days of Mold Busters is every time they did an inspection with permission of the owner, whether it's commercial or residential, another, mold killed by Mold Busters, here's the text information, and here's the email information. Very simple. You don't want to have too much there, but you want to say the messages, we killed mold, or we killed more mold, but you have to have permission, obviously, of the landowner. Some landowners would not put that out because they don't want people to know they have mold in their house or their business. But in your case, We just saved another client a ton of money in terms of energy, and we, whatever. I mean, those are good things, good messages, right? Lawn signs are effective. And the other thing that we do with lawn signs is we put them at major intersections. And they're very effective, we found, whether it's commercial or residential. And what you do is you put them out on a Thursday evening, then you go back on the next Tuesday and you take them and you put them somewhere else. The reason for that is, even though politicians use them to get reelected or to get elected, there are a lot of cities, I don't know if your town does that, but certainly many cities ban these things, right?
Mhm.
So we just play whack-a-mole with the city bylaw officers. So literally, I mean, another company that group of my students started was called Grade A Techs. They do at home or at your place of business computer servicing. And they got their first 3,000 clients with lawn signs. And they played with the bylaw officers for about 6 months. So it's not forever. And if somebody steals one of your signs and puts it, a teenager steals it, puts it in his basement, don't worry about it. It's just they cost $10 and it's not that big a deal. And sure enough, 10 years later, they'll be calling you anyway.
Yeah.
So when they're 17 or 16, they're smoking weed and playing video games. And when they're 26 and they have a house of their own, or 28, or they have an industrial building, they call you.
Nice. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So Grade A Tech's got 3,000 of their clients, mostly from lawn signs.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fantastic. So what I think you do is you want to have a one page, maybe even just a postcard size, rather than a full scale. What's that?
So I'm showing this because this is what I used to do, drop off
Beautiful.
at my last.
Beautiful. I wonder if I have any of mine.
But I mean, I can make this like half.
So this is one of my pro bono coaching clients. She does professional cleaning at affordable prices. All right. And she does both residential and commercial. And what she did was this was a draft, and you can see I scribbled on it, right?
Yep.
And what she did was she printed up about 1,500 of those, and she distributed around around her neighborhood, to the houses in her neighborhood and the commercial businesses in her neighborhood. And she's got in fact, she's here today in my house cleaning my place. And she has an incredible roster of clients, both commercial and residential. So these postcards are fantastic. And if you're a little bit lazy like me, you can go down to Canada Post and they can do a postal walk, if you know what that is.
Yep.
So I used to own a mini storage company called Blue Heron Storage. And we used to print up these two-sided postcards, and we'd print up, 3,000 or 4,000. And I'm lazy, so I would go to the post office and I would pay them, and they would drop it in every mailbox in certain areas close by to this place. And it was
easy.
Oh,
So
hang on a second.
That was easy.
Oh yeah, it's still working.
there you go.
It's easy.
So it was my magic marketing button, right? So I would print
So
up.
if I was to target commercial,
yes,
and get to the decision maker who would actually care about this, do you think the postal walk would still be?
Yeah, for commercial, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure about that. You mentioned in one of your emails that you might do some drop-bys. I think
Yep.
that's effective. I think that is effective. And so one of the things you do with a drop-by is you leave one of these postcards behind. And people love these postcards, right? They're the bigger ones, the brochures that are this big, or the sheets of paper, the spec sheets, those get thrown out. But the postcards people keep. You know, they put them on their fridge at home, even if they own an industrial building, you know, they might take it home and just put it on the fridge as a reminder, you know, with a fridge magnet. I should call Jeff Moody, you know, and see if I can chop my energy costs and improve my air air quality. And you're absolutely right on the air side of things. That is fantastic. You know, I wrote to you what happened in the 1980s when landlords cut their fresh air almost by half.
Yeah, I mean, on the HVAC side, sorry, can you still hear me?
Yep.
On the HVAC side, like I know even the equipment, like most technicians, most commercial HVAC guys, the way they're setting up units for fresh air or what, it's not even a consideration. And I almost think that, you know, there's a service for somebody to go around, or me to go around, or whoever, me, RBM Group, and literally have a service to set up the equipment to optimize fresh air.
Okay. All right. All of this is fantastic. I really like it. Okay. So how are you going to find your first 3 clients? Come on.
So in my mind, I'm like, all I know is how I did things on how I used to do things.
Yeah.
And I literally did I would do drop-offs. I think, you know, there are more efficient ways to do it. I think I need to do a LinkedIn post. I think I need to have my website or Facebook page up and running for this. I
Yeah.
think I need to have as you say, a wedge product to get my foot in the door, and get people phoning and get the conversation started. But yeah, I need all of these things, and one of my goals for this week, Bruce, is to get 1 client.
100%. And one of the things we talked about is, you know, talking to some contractors, right? Like, you know, there are some outfits, you know, within 20. Exactly. Yeah, you got it, brother. Yeah, we
Yeah.
went through that business model. But you know, these are people that you know, so you don't necessarily have to drop in on the end user, but you could drop in on contractors that you know or that you would like to get to know. And you could say, look, I've set up this business, I'll help you in these areas. When I ran a consulting company, I ran a consulting company called Hickling Capital Corporation a long time ago. I was the chair of that company, Jeff. We loved having subcontractors on file. You know that because we would say back in the day, we would bid for a contract. We would get the contract, and probably at least half of the work, sometimes even 3/4 of the work, would be done by independent contractors, not by my staff. And an independent contractor back then would charge $350 a day, and we would bill the client, you know, $500 or $550. So hiring independent contractors to do most of the work, we made a decent margin on those guys. We marked them up. We had to supervise them, and we had to, you know, win the contracts. We had to do all the billing and the contract administration. So the markups were justified. But when we looked at the end of the year, our profitability was largely driven by our independent contractors.
Yeah, and you know what? Like even like that's kind of the model I have in my head is, yes, I'll do the work to get going.
Yeah.
But once, you know, if there's a residential ERV install, I'll just get a subcontractor to do it. Even a commercial
Yeah.
ERV or whatever install, I'll be the face of it, but subcontract out the majority of it and take points on it, right?
But it works the other way as well. Right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So yes, you can subcontract out most of the work when you're generating the work. Nothing wrong with that. But on the other side, you should be talking to some of the big HVAC companies and others that don't necessarily specialize in fresh air, don't necessarily specialize in energy conservation, right? And all the other stuff that you know. They need you. So you could charge them, I don't know, what would you charge? What's your hourly rate going to look like?
What I ideally want it to be,
Yeah,
150.
yeah. So, so let's say, you charge 150 and somebody includes you in a bid, they'll charge you out of 225.
Yeah.
So they'll make
I
$75 an hour every hour you work, and they don't have to do much other than the contract administration. Do you understand?
I do, yeah.
Now, the other thing is that since you're willing to do some of the work yourself, one of the things we talked about before is maybe just doing some simple Kijiji advertising just to get a few jobs.
Yeah, I have reached out to Kijiji. I have reached out to like just regular commercial contractors to be like, hey, I'm a HVAC subcontractor.
Yeah,
Right now right now HVAC contractors are slow, kind of shoulder season.
I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
there was
what
no
I
real
thought we
hits
could,
on that. I made about 5 phone calls.
I got it. But what I thought we could do, you and I, that I thought would be worthwhile doing, hang on a second, is let's create a Kijiji ad like right now for Mr. Don't Be Moody, Trust Jeff Moody. I'm not going to give up on that. So let's try it, okay? Marketing. We'll do a Kijiji ad. All right. Oops.
I'll be honest, I rely on GPT or
That's fine.
GTP quite a bit.
Oh, so do I. I like it. I think it's great. Hang on a second now. We're just going to have some fun. We're going to actually run an ad on Kijiji. You are actually. All right. All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I've set up a document here, and I'll help you write the first one, and maybe our friends there at ChatGPT can do a better job. But let's try it ourselves. All right.
Sure.
All right. So what is it? I'm a homeowner. I own an industrial building. What is it that you want to sell me?
A lot of things. And that's it. Like I'm trying to get my elevator
That's
pitch
okay.
down.
Just tell me what we're gonna. We only gonna advertise one thing.
Air quality.
Because if you advertise 10 things, you might as well advertise nothing.
Air quality.
No, that's not gonna win many friends. But we'll try air quality, but we'll do that second. We'll do 2 ads. Come on, we'll do it 2 ads together.
Energy efficiency.
All right, now we're talking. We'll do A/B testing. You know what A/B testing is, right?
Yep.
Okay.
We'll put 2 ads up and
Yeah, see which one generates more interest.
we'll put one email to Emma, the other one to
Yeah.
Jude. I don't know.
You got to make sure it works though. All right, energy efficiency. Now, what's the headline going to be? What is it that you can do for me as a homeowner, as a building owner, industrial building owner? What is it that you can do for me? Just put it in your own words. Don't worry about writing it. I'll write it.
Energy efficient HVAC upgrades.
Upgrade your life. Improve the efficiency of what? What are we improving? Your furnace, your air conditioner?
I want to say mechanical systems, but that might be
And nobody
too
knows what a mechanical system is. They think you mean the plunger I used to unblock my toilet.
heating and air.
Uh, okay.
In your house or building. I don't know if that's a given or.
Let's see. All right, save money this year by what are you doing with the heating and air conditioning system?
Upgrading,
Yeah,
consulting, like doing an audit, like not an audit, a report, energy report.
yeah. All right. So our headline is upgrade your life. Save money this year by upgrading your heating and air conditioning, right? And if I'm writing anything you don't like, just tell me, we'll change it. So RBM Group is a trusted provider of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems and equipment. That reduce energy costs, improve air quality. What else does it do? So we talked about air quality. We talked about,
Comfort,
oh, I like that.
productivity,
Oh, I like that.
the air quality, you can, these books that I'm reading, they're making some pretty viruses and raising, the productivity and
Oh, I think you're talking about health.
health. Yep.
All right. RBM Group is a trusted provider of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems and equipment that reduce energy costs, improve air quality, health, comfort, and productivity. We service both residential clients and commercial clients. Correct?
Yep.
Commercial / industrial / institutional clients. We understand how to get you the best ROI on your investments. Right? So that's kind of the negative cost selling thing. All right. What else? What are some of the wedge products that you might put in here?
What we're calling an energy report. What was I calling that?
Yeah. Let's start with low cost solutions like getting getting energy reports energy use, right?
Like an energy upgrade report.
Smartphone. Well, aren't we talking about, like hydro or something like hydro?
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, I was just thinking, I was putting that report together more for the commercial clients to do a walkthrough.
Yeah, but start with low-cost
identify-
solutions such as getting energy use reports on your smartphone. What was some of the other products that we had? Like the air purifier, wasn't there something there from that you could install that wasn't too expensive?
Air quality monitoring.
Yes. Such as getting energy use reports on your smartphone or no, it should be in here. So does that make sense?
Yep.
Start with low-cost solutions such as getting energy use or air quality reports on your smartphone. If you can't measure it,
Can't measure it.
you can't. What? You can't change it.
Can't
Change
change it.
anything. Right?
Yeah, there was this cool quote from Winston Churchill, actually, from this
Okay.
book.
What is it?
Yeah, I'm looking.
I love that. Yeah, I love Churchill. I mean, he's one of my heroes. If it weren't for Churchill, we'd all be speaking German.
Uh, I have so many. Buildings. Uh, so he said, we shape our, and afterwards our buildings shape us.
Say that again.
We shape our buildings, and afterwards our buildings shape us. I mean, it's a bit of a different context. He was more talking about the British Parliament chambers, but
That's okay. That's a beautiful quote. Is it rbmgroup.com?
CA.
What's your cell number?
647
Yep.
229
Yep.
3871.
Okay, I love it. RBM Group. How does that look?
Yeah, that's great.
You want to put it in Chat GPT and see what Chat GPT does with it? Let's try it.
Sure.
All right. Usually I like my stuff better, but so what do you do when you put it in Chat GPT? Ask Chat GPT to rewrite it?
Um, Yeah, I would just prompt it to rewrite it.
Okay. Can you see my screen here?
Yep.
Huh. What the hell? No. I'll start a new chat. So maybe I just put it in, right?
Yep.
And then I don't have to ask it anything. All right. So upgrade your life this year by optimizing your heating and air conditioning systems with RBM Group. We specialize in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning solutions designed to slash energy costs, enhance air quality, promote health and comfort, and boost productivity for both residential and commercial, industrial, institutional clients. At RBM Group, we prioritize your return on investment by offering tailored solutions that deliver. This is pretty good, actually. I'm taking it all back. Our expertise allows us to identify cost-effective measures, starting with simple yet impactful steps like accessing energy usage or air quality reports directly on your smartphone. As Winston Churchill wisely said, let us help shape your built environment for the better. Oh, fuck, this is better. I hate this.
They even changed my tagline.
Yeah, they did. I'm not saying you should use this as opposed to what I did, but it's
No,
damn.
I think there's a somewhere in the middle.
Well, no, I'm gonna let you do the final edit, because
Okay.
it's very important, in the coaching that I do, that, I don't impose my, that I don't impose my views. I make suggestions, as you know, Jeff, and I want to be helpful, but I don't want to substitute me for you, because you're in the business. You have to live with it, right? And but I do like I'm surprised at how good it is, right? Building environments for a better tomorrow. That's pretty good too. I like it. Damn, it's good. All right, so I'll just go back here again and share my screen with you. So we have the one that you and I did here, and then we have ChatGPT. I'll just put that down here. I'm quite impressed. So let's go and look at Kijiji. Which Kijiji is big in your area? It's not Kijiji, Ottawa. It's Kijiji. What's your area called?
Toronto.
Well, are you in Toronto?
I mean, I would be advertising to Toronto.
You would do work in Toronto then? Okay, that's perfect. That's fine.
Yeah,
right.
like that's kind of like I mean, the commercial stuff is,
No, that's fine. I mean, I totally respect that.
yeah, like Toronto
Toronto.
GTA. I'd be considered GTA where I
That's
live.
fine. No, that's fine. I mean, I don't, the GTA is fine. Okay, so what we're going to look for is, if I was a homeowner or I was an industrial building owner and I was looking on Kijiji, what would I search for?
I think there's something services. Is that?
No, you're not you are a consumer. So you're a building owner, you own an industrial building, or you're a homeowner and you're looking for help. What are you looking for on Kijiji? What are you putting in that search bar?
HVAC.
Yeah, that's because you're an HVAC guy. People don't know HVAC.
Furnace, air conditioner,
Uh,
rooftop unit, boiler.
furnace repair guy. Huh, you're right. Heating, ventilation, air conditioning. Here we are. 24-hour furnace repair. We provide same-day service. 24-hour HVAC company, proudly serving Nepean. That's where I live. So maybe people do know HVAC. So would you advertise under furnace repair?
I think I would put a bunch of like taglines at the bottom, like furnace repair, commercial service, commercial HVAC. Furnace install, air conditioning install. Air quality.
Oops. All right. So I'm going to send you this, but we're not quite finished yet. If I go to your website now, right? RBM Group. Oops. That's cool. Oh, I like it. You've used building environments. Nothing wrong with that. So we can't really send people here yet, right? Because you haven't done much more than this. Could you just have a landing page which has some basic information there?
Yeah.
All right. So let's do that. I think that's worthwhile doing. All right. Let's go back here. All right. Okay, so what are we gonna put? We're just gonna have a landing page, right? That your home page is gonna be the one page. You don't need to have 10 pages. You'll have that later. What are we gonna say on our home page?
Sorry, I'm just looking up all my. I have started this stuff.
Okay. I'm
Like a
gonna
brief blurb about RBM Group. Where is it? Da, da, da.
Well, you know what? We could just put the ad on basically on the website. We could just put one of those two versions on there. This is probably the one that was written by ChatGPT is better with a little bit of change, but you could just put on your homepage now, upgrade, just repeat it, right? And
What's
you just have to make sure that Emma at rbmgroup.ca actually works and comes to you, right? You got to make sure that if somebody emails it, and of course you'll get the text, right? So you could just put this on there, basically. You can repeat your ad or close to it. Is there anything else you would want to put on the homepage that you've already written?
okay? Where am I? Oh, there you are.
So what have you written on that you were thinking about putting on your homepage? You were looking something up right now.
Yeah, sorry. And then I just shut it because I lost my Zoom page.
Can you email it to me?
Yeah, I can email it too.
Yeah, because I want to look at that. That's worth doing.
So this was more before I was thinking about the air quality as well.
Yeah,
So it's more geared towards energy efficiency.
okay, so just send it to me.
Yep.
I'm waiting.
I just sent it.
I'm waiting.
I don't know what's up with my internet.
It's terrible. It's probably because you're in the basement.
Maybe.
Well, what kind of system do you have?
I don't know. Rogers?
Yeah, but I mean, is it a Google Mesh or how do you distribute it in the?
It's whatever Rogers gives you, the hub.
Okay, so yeah, it's usually pretty crap. All right, let's see. Oh, here we are. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, let's go back to the other side. People are such BSers, eh? This mortgage broker, says she has $1.2 million in mortgage money available from a private lender for farm lending, and I've got a client who's buying a farm.
Yeah.
I respond to her. She sends me that on Thursday. I respond to her Monday. Somehow, mysteriously, over the weekend, the money got committed. I'm kind of pissed. All right, so let's just put this in here. All right. Introducing, I don't want to say introducing, RBM Group, your, because, I mean, you've been around, RBM Group is new, but you have been in this business for how many years?
17?
Okay, so it's not new. Right? If somebody says, well, yeah, it's a new company, but I've been in the business for 17 years, and I am RBM Group along with my assistant Emma. So let's do this. It is your premier partner in commercial and residential mechanical system, energy audits, and retro mechanical
See, I
system.
want to change that.
What's that?
I want to change that.
To what?
Well, kind of energy upgrades and retrofits and air quality, kind of like what we.
Okay, RBM is your premier partner in commercial residential. So what do you want to say here? We'll say energy audits, retrofit.
Energy upgrades,
Yeah, audits,
retrofits,
upgrades, retrofits.
indoor air quality.
Energy and air quality. RBM Group is your premier partner in commercial, residential, energy and air quality audits, upgrades, retrofits, and new installs. Right?
Yep.
At RBM Group, we specialize in optimizing energy efficiency, performance for buildings through comprehensive energy efficiency and performance. Air quality. I've got to mention that. We specialize in optimizing energy efficiency and air quality for buildings through comprehensive audits and tailored retrofit, and as well as new solutions. We are dedicated to identifying inefficiencies, reducing operational costs, and enhancing sustainability for your commercial and spaces and residential. I don't want to ignore the residential market until you're huge.
No,
With a commitment to innovation and client satisfaction, RBM Group is your trusted partner in transforming your systems into assets of efficiency and environmental. That was is this a Chat GPT thing too?
I probably ran it through.
Yeah, it's good. This is really good. All right. So I'm just gonna look at this thing. All right, let's read it over together.
Here, I'm trying to go to full screen on Zoom.
What's
Sorry.
that?
I'm trying to go to full screen on Zoom. I've been.
You're
I don't
looking
know why
down
it's
a
not-
tunnel.
What's that?
You're looking down a tunnel.
Yeah. So I can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't see my screen. Well, that
Well,
won't.
I'm on like the thumbnail view. There we go.
Are you good?
Good enough. Yes.
All right. And then while we have time, can we spend a few minutes on Scott?
Yep.
All right. He's our one and only client together, but what the hell? Maybe we can get a few more once we fix up Scott with something nice. All right. So can you see the screen okay now?
Sorry, 1 second here.
I'll stop sharing it for a moment and go back to sharing, just in case it wakes you up.
There we go. Okay.
All right. Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right. So this is for your homepage. RBM Group is your premier partner in commercial, residential, energy and air quality audits, upgrades, retrofits, and new installs. So that's kind of your headline. At RBM Group, we specialize in optimizing energy efficiency and air quality for buildings through comprehensive audits and tailored retrofits, as well as new solutions. We are dedicated to identifying inefficiencies, reducing operational costs, and enhancing sustainability for your commercial spaces and residential needs. With a commitment to innovation and client satisfaction, RBM Group is your trusted partner in transforming your systems into assets of efficiency and environmental stewardship. We focus on slashing energy costs, enhancing air quality, promoting health and comfort, and boosting productivity for both residential and commercial, industrial, institutional clients. At RBM Group, we prioritize your return on investment by offering tailored solutions that deliver immediate, tangible benefits. Our expertise allows us to identify cost-effective measures, starting with simple yet impactful steps like accessing energy usage or air quality reports directly on your smartphone. As Winston Churchill wisely said, we shape our buildings, and afterwards our buildings shape us.
I think I'm going to just put like that quote down and then just reference Winston Churchill opposed to it being part of that.
Whatever you decide, let us
help
you shape your environment for the better. To embark on your journey towards a more efficient and comfortable living or working space, reach out to Emma or text us at RBM Group Building. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you this. All right. So these are the Kijiji ads. I'm going to send it in two different emails. All right. So the first one will be for Kijiji. Okay.
Yep. And do you think I should do like some sort of announcement on LinkedIn or just wait?
Sure, for sure. But first, update your website. Second, put your ad on Kijiji. Then third, do an announcement on LinkedIn.
Because yeah, I'm excited / nervous because I want to
Yeah, I know that.
get the phone ringing.
One of my friends told me that, you know, I was having a down day a few months ago. And I don't have many down days. I probably have one or two, maybe 3 a year. So I, you know, like anybody else, I have ups and downs. And he said, Bruce, you are BFF. I said, well, no, my initials are BMF, like Bruce Murray Firestone, which also stands for blowing money fast. And he laughed, just like you did. And he said, no, you're BFF. You're Bruce fucking Firestone. So what do you mean? He said, look, you've got a lot of experience. You've done a lot of wonderful things in your career. You know, some have worked really well, some have worked okay, and some haven't worked at all. But if you looked at the balance sheet, there's a lot more that worked that didn't. So stop being too hard on yourself. I would say the same thing to you, Jeff. You've spent 17 years or whatever in this business, and there's nobody I would trust more to give me advice on this stuff than you, right? Because I can tell you, if you call up your average HVAC technician and ask him for advice, he'll spec the most expensive stuff he could possibly think of, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a technician mindset / is a little bit different than maybe my mindset.
Well, I mean, you know, you want to make some money too. I get that. But I would trust you to recommend something that's good for me rather than something that's exclusively good for you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's just I
So
can
you
see where
are JFM, Jeff fucking Moody.
yeah,
And
I can see where it can be. It's just that building that momentum and kind of closing that gap.
I know that. That's why you've got to find 3 clients. Okay, so you should have 2 emails from me now. One that you can you know, put on your landing page, one that for your website, one that you could, and you can use it on Instagram, and you can use it on LinkedIn, and you can use the ad, the Kijiji ad. You know, you should run that, and you shouldn't be afraid to do it. If somebody calls you up and says, hey, listen, I'm thinking of building a $20 million building and I need a consultant, you know, to tell me, you know, what to do, and I've got $100,000 in my budget for my consulting for my consultant, you know, that's you, right? I mean, and somebody might just call you up. I don't care at this point. Somebody may just call you up and say, look, I need an hour of your time. What's your hourly rate? You say it's $150 plus HST, right?
Yep. Yeah,
And
I just need something to get that ball rolling and
you
get
have to
that
get the ball rolling. I don't care if you make $150 or $100,000. $100,000 would be nice, but I
yeah,
want you to get 3 customers, right? And
3 customers and how long?
you know, run the ad. I mean, I think you have to get 3 customers, you know, by the end of the first week of April, because we're going into the busy time now, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, you know, in the next 3 weeks, you should be able to get three clients. And
Oh
maybe
yeah, 3 weeks.
the first
Yes.
one is you know, and you know what I do with my coaching practice is sometimes people call me up and they're not sure if I'm the right fit, and maybe I'm not. And I said, look, if you have $350, you know, plus HSD, I'll give you an hour of my time, and we'll see if it works. You know, and sometimes they say, well, that's expensive, and I said, well, it's a lot more expensive not hiring me as a coach. But you know, in your case, it's $150 plus HSD. If somebody's not sure that you're worth $100,000, well, listen, So if I was on a phone call with somebody or emailing back and forth, and I was being considered for a significant contract, maybe it's only $5,000, but they weren't sure. I said, well, look, hire me for a couple of hours. I'll do some work for you. I'll give you some help. Okay.
Yeah,
All
excellent.
right. Okay, so let's talk about our friend there. You know, so I think the one that he currently is thinking about is this one, Jeff. Hopefully you'll be able to see it on Zoom here. I think the one that he likes is this guy here, right? 102 Elgin.
Yeah, so we're going to see it tomorrow.
Okay.
There was no Monday showings, and it sounds like the basement tenant is not an issue, but basically stipulating when showings can happen and whatnot. So we've had a couple canceled showings, but tomorrow morning we should be good to go.
So I quite like this one. And if you just want to write down some notes, just so you have it, I think he's on the right track. I'm talking about Scott. He was thinking in the side yard here, he could put 1 or 2 small workshops. You know, the ones that I like, they're 160 square feet, they're legal.
Yep.
And workshops are much less expensive to put in. You know, maybe it just starts off with 1 workshop, but you could put a workshop in here, and you know, you can buy them for $10,000. They're 160 square feet. You just put gravel down, put the workshop on top of the gravel. You add electricity. You add a Burr cycle heat pump. You know anybody who knows anything about heat pumps?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 or 2. So, you know, you could help him with this. I mean, he could be one of your first clients if he buys this. Look, what I would offer to do for him, if he was interested, is that you would be the contractor to put a workshop in here for him. So look, I've watched what Bruce does and I know how to do it better. You know, I'm sure you would do it better than me. So you just put down a gravel pad, right? You put the workshop there, it's 160 square feet. You put the electricity to it, so you get an ESA permit. You don't need a permit for the shed because it's under 161.5 square feet. You you get the Electrical Safety Authority inspection. You got your electrical there, then you spray foam insulate it, and you put some lights in it, and a reverse cycle heat pump, so you've got heating and air conditioning, and you're good to go. It's very inexpensive. And
Yeah.
therefore,
Like
he
I like
would.
this prop. I
Sure, go
like
ahead.
this property also
Yeah,
because the last one we went and saw, 103 Hope Street,
yeah,
you know, we came to the conclusion that to even put a basement apartment in it, you know, I always start at to do a basement apartment these days from scratch, you're 120 to 130.
it could be 120 for sure.
Yeah, so like that's where it was kind of like, okay, well, this place is 625 and you're gonna put 120, 130. Do the numbers still kind of
No, no,
like
I
yes,
on that. So in terms of animations, I think for sure, let's see which one it is. It's this one here, right?
yep,
So, in terms of animations, I think that the side yard workshop, are you writing it down?
yeah, I have,
Okay,
yes.
side yard workshop makes a lot of sense. Um, I would probably think about converting this from a garage to another workshop. So this, you know, I think Scott wants to convert it to a living unit, but unfortunately, you know, he'd probably get ratted out by one of his neighbors. So I probably wouldn't do that. But it looks to be big enough that it could be a hell of a workshop.
I think you might be able to do an ADU
Well,
in
if you can, so in terms of animations, side yard workshop for sure, and you should, if he's interested, you say, look, Scott, let me be the contractor on that. I'll put the workshop in for you. And if we could get permission to do in the garage, we can do a garage conversion legally. That has to be legal. We
Yep.
should do it. If not, we should convert it to another workshop. Then on the downstairs, so have you got that written down?
Yep.
All right. On the downstairs, Jeff, what I was thinking, these are the floor plans that I think Scott sent me. You've seen them probably.
Yeah, I sent them to him.
Okay, well, there you go. So this is, it's obviously a bungalow, and this is, I guess, the bedroom, which is next to the garage, and there's another bedroom next to the garage, right?
Mhm.
So, it's a bit of a peculiar kind of arrangement. So you've got 3 bedrooms here on the ground floor, living room, dining room, kitchen, bath. And then this is the basement, which has, you come down into the basement and it has, I guess, a shared laundry here, right?
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, shared laundry, and then you come in here and you come in to the bedroom to get to the kitchen, which
Yeah,
is
it's
kind
kind
of
of,
weird, right?
but one second here. So this is a door too, though.
Where?
Sorry, on the left-hand side, that's a door to the outside, is it not? Keep going.
This?
Yeah.
That's a door to the outside?
I mean, that's a symbol for a door, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think you're right. Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, that's a lot better. That's cool. All right. Very interesting. Well, I quite like this. Uh, you know, but this bedroom is humongous. He might consider splitting that, right? And making it a 2-bedroom basement apartment.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I like this house. I think it has great potential. In terms of animations, we've got a side yard workshop. We've got a potential ADU in the garage or second workshop. And the basement, I suspect he could make, maybe 2 bedrooms here, maybe not, but possibly 2 bedrooms. Because a 2-bedroom will get him a lot more money than a 1. That's fantastic. If that's a separate entrance, that'd be great. Anyway, I quite like it. Here's the blurb that you sent. Situated steps from Trinity College School in downtown Port Hope. Beautiful hardwood floors throughout. Stainless steel appliances, great natural light. Is this a flip, do you think?
So I spoke with the agent. Apparently, no, they've lived in it.
Okay.
Like it was owner occupied. They were living upstairs. They have purchased something else. And they've gone firm on something else apparently.
Yeah.
And
So what do you think he could maybe get it for? I mean, it's listed for $750,000. That's quite a bit.
yeah, I mean, I think it's had quite a bit of activity.
I'll bet.
So I don't think we're gonna see it go under 700, like seven. I don't know. What would you sell your house for if it was on the
I don't
market
know.
for
I
5
mean,
days?
selling is hard right now because the interest rates are so high.
Like the market around here is kind of picked up a little bit.
I
We're
think it
seeing,
has. I think
yeah,
it,
multiples. So I honestly think that with it being on the market for 5 days or so, I don't think you're gonna get much of a reduction off the listing
probably
price.
not. Probably not. Let's do some numbers ourselves. Hang on a second. We'll try and make it relatively quick. 102 Elgin.
And yeah, like I'm trying to get a feel of for what Scott wants. And I mean,
Yeah, he's
the
all over.
consensus, he's all over the place. And I know he has like what, 8 or 9 other properties.
He has quite a few,
So
and he has very low debt to equity, so he's got lots of room to do stuff if he wants.
like he's more just concerned about the cap rate opposed
Yeah,
to,
and rightly so. He'll do anything in real estate. He likes real estate, right?
yeah.
Hang on, I'll show you what I'm doing. All right. Let's fool around with a spreadsheet and then I'll send it to you and you can give it to him tomorrow or later today. All right. So you should be able to see my. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Purchase price. Let's assume that he can get it for 705,500. That's just an assumption. And let's see if we can go and get land transfer tax.
Where's my phone? I can do this quickly here.
I bet you can do it faster than me.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
Somewhere.
$10,585.
585. We tied.
Yeah.
We tied. It was a tie. All right. LTT. I just grab this thing here. Hey. And we'll put legals and disperse. Put in, I don't know, $1,900. This is just an allowance. To acquire. I wonder if you can get vacant possession.
It does say vacant possession.
Okay. Okay, and he's got 3 bedrooms on the ground floor, right? Ground
I'm
floor.
sorry?
Bedrooms. It's got 3. And these will be we're not calling it student rentals, we're calling it professional rentals. And that's just a placeholder for students. So what does he get per room? $800, $700?
Yeah, I think you would get, let's say 750.
All right, I'll go with 785 just for the hell of it.
Okay.
All right, so
I think like upstairs you'd get at least 2,000.
yeah, so well, if you multiply
Well,
if you
there,
multiply
that, yeah, sorry, that's 2,300,
about
isn't it?
$2,300 per month.
Yep.
Okay, and then we're gonna go lower level. And we have, right now, we only have 1 bedroom. One. It's an apartment though, right?
Yeah.
What do you think you can get for the apartment?
Right now it's currently tenanted for 1,700.
So we'll say 1885, just for the hell of it. Oops. Okay, so that's your lower level. This is your ground floor. So gross operating income will be equal to this plus this. You're following me so far? Easy stuff, eh? Equals that per month. Equals this times 12 per year. We'll call it renovation costs. It's just like basically lipstick, right? Just paint
Yep.
and stuff like that. We'll just say lipstick. It's probably in pretty good shape. So what do you want to put in, 15 grand just to fix it up a little bit?
I mean, to keep it the way it is,
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
I don't think it would even need that.
All right, we'll put in $9,500. It's just an allowance.
Okay.
Total cost is equal to $9,500 plus the cost to acquire the damn thing. Is that Okay, net operating, so OpEx, we'll put in 34%. Oops. Equals minus this times your gross operating income equals per year. Your net operating income is simply equal to your gross plus this per year. Yeah, his cap rate will be equal to this divided by that.
4.5. Yeah.
4.6% per year. All right, so that's his going in cap rate, right? You know.
Yeah, and we want to get it to at least 8, correct?
Yeah, yep, exactly. The goal is 8%. So we're quite a ways away from that. All right. So let's say we do garage conversion. What will that cost to do?
120, 125.
I think we'll go 115 for the hell of it. Garage conversion, side yard workshop. Put it in at 27,000. Oops. Okay, so now our total cost is equal to, sorry, it's equal to this plus the, oops, plus this, plus this. So now that's our total cost. Garage conversion, what can we get for the garage? Probably $1,800 a month.
Yeah.
I'll give it the same as the one up above per month. What do you think you can get for, I mean, you've done some advertising for workshops. What do you think you can sell your workshop for?
Yeah, 750, 800.
All right, we'll go with 800 per month. I got for my last one 785, which is not bad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right, which is equal to this times 12 equals this times 12 equals per year equals per year. All right, that's your gross. Equals minus this. You notice how I link everything again? Equals minus this. So if you change one thing, it all changes, so you don't have to keep doing your spreadsheet again. Equals this plus that equals this plus that. This is your NOI. Right. So now we've got total NOI is equal to this amount here plus this plus that equals per year. And so now we're going to get animated cap rate equals this divided by that. So we're a little bit better. 6.3% per year. So it'd be pretty hard to get to 8%, but anyway, there you go. Okay. And so what do you think?
Well, I think the one thing that you can't necessarily, well, maybe you can quantify it, is he lives 5 minutes down the road.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's going to be his own property manager, and I mean, he seems like a very busy guy. So,
Yep.
What's his return on time?
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. I'm gonna put in here, plus this building is close to home for Scott. Davis is 5 minutes away, right?
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, in Port Hope, you're 5 minutes away from
yeah,
everything.
plus
but-
this building is close to home for Scott Davis. I call it rot. Return on time.
Yeah, because I can show them places in Peterborough that are $150,000 less. But that's 45 minutes away from it for him.
Yeah, no, I like it. Oh, I'm gonna write to Scott now. I'm gonna send you the spreadsheet too, okay? Hang on a second. So I'll attach it for you both. So I'm gonna share my screen one more time, Jeff. See if we can sell them this building. We'll make a little bit of money for you too as a realtor. And me, I'll get a whacking great 25% fee, right? So anyway, Scott, can you see my screen now?
That's not 50, we're not doing 50-50, Bruce?
Well, I don't know, maybe if you wanna be generous, that'd be super nice. Anyway, that would be great. Super. Thank you for that, Jeff. Scott, Jeff and I did a spreadsheet for you. Re 102 Elgin, right?
Yep.
Scott, Jeff and I did a spreadsheet for you, re 102 Elgin in Port Hope, see attached. The going in cap rate is low, but the animated cap rate is better. It's interesting. Jeff pointed out that because it's 5 minutes from your house. So return on time, rot. Jeff pointed out that because it's 5 minutes from your place, from your home, I think I should say. There's also something else you're wrong. Big smile. All right. Is that okay, Jeff?
Yeah, that's great. And I'll print this off and have it a hard
Yeah,
copy.
take it with you tomorrow. For sure. Well, I think we got through it today.
No,
I
this
think
is great. Thanks,
for
Bruce.
you, the most important thing will be just in terms of getting your RBM group off the ground will be just some advertising on Kijiji. You know, Kijiji is amazingly effective in Canada. It doesn't even exist in the US. In the US, the Craigslist is big, right? And Craigslist is actually pretty good, but for Canadians too, you can advertise on Craigslist if you're Canadian, but you'll get Americans who think that Ottawa is Kansas. So it's not, but Kijiji is pretty good. So I think if you can get 3 or 4 or 5 clients, small, medium size, whatever, I think that'll give you confidence too. Because I have confidence in you, and we've got to show your wife that you can actually do it.
Yeah. I mean, she has confidence in me.
I'm sure she does. But you
We've had
are
many conversations.
you remember this, you are JFM.
I like it.
Jeff fucking Moody, and you know your stuff. Like I said, there's nobody I would trust more. And let's see if we can help Scott buy a property tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, see you
Thanks,
soon.
Bruce.
Thank you.
Okay.